still observing, guys. I'm sitting over there on the sideline, cool as a cucumber, because I'm trying to figure out now that I've got them all out there, who can I play?
What is up, awesome people of the internet? Guys, y'all know the phrase anybody can get got. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what day it is, doesn't matter what players you got on your team, you can and will lose eventually. And yesterday, LSU saw that motto of anybody can get got and was like, not today, because Kaylin Gilbert, the freshman, showed up and showed out big time on a scramble of a play, a would-be turnover for LSU, and ended up making a layup, sealing the 1-point victory for LSU over Washington. The final score was 68-67. Now, guys, this game was way closer than it should have been. Now, credit to Washington. Washington is a really, really, really good squad. Like, they're not a trash squad at all. And they have this one girl, Alaskan player. Like, it's rare that you see like Alaskan players sort of light it up in the women's game. The only other Alaskan I can really remember is Ruthie Hebert, from who played at Oregon and played at Chicago for a little while. But the Alaskan that Washington has, she goes by the name of Savia Sellers. Oh, Savia Sellers is fantastic. Fan-freaking-tastic. She can do a little bit of everything. She can do a three-point shot. She can get to the bucket. She can just find a way to score. She's a shorty, 5'7" sophomore, but she was absolutely cooking, and I mean cooking, LSU yesterday. Like, it was like, man, girl, you better cook it up, man. 50% from the three, 50% overall from the field. It wasn't just that she was scoring the basketball. She was doing it efficiently, and she was playing some pretty good defense as well. She was just flat out phenomenal. Best player in the game, in my opinion. Best player in the game. And had Sellers not got fouled out, LSU would have got. For sure. For sure, LSU would have got because Washington was playing some really good zone defense on LSU. And it was scrambling them. It was scrambling their brains. They also just had a very, very slow start. But Savia Sellers was just flat out phenomenal. And truly, had she not fouled out, I don't see any way that LSU would have won this game. I think the only reason they won was because Sellers was fouled out. And that's why you have to play smart early in the game, because you don't want things like this to happen where, in the first half you get a couple fouls and you're like, not that big of a deal. It is a big deal. You got to make sure that you play towards the refs. You peep game of what the refs are calling and avoid that, because you don't want to get in a situation where your team winds up losing because you are sitting on the bench. That's my thoughts there. Now, let's talk about LSU. What an atrocious game. Like, it was bad. It was bad news bears. Bad news bears for LSU yesterday. Basically, they were rescued by 4 players. The only player that played really, really well throughout the game was Flau'jae Johnson. Like, definitely, by far, the best player on this team. By far. She was just trying her best to do anything she could to really impact this game and made some big time buckets to help get this team back in it. Ultimately, Flau'jae Johnson finished the game with 19 points. She also had 2 assists, 4 steals, and 4 rebounds as well. The thing about Flau'jae Johnson is just she can do anything. At any point, she can get to the basket, make a tough shot. She could hit a 3. She could just all around really, really elite player. And if she wanted to get in the draft, if she wanted to, I know she's been talking about it. If she wanted to, lottery pick. Easy, 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 easy lottery pick, in my opinion. Now, Flau'jae did get a little bit of help, and also she was scoring efficiently. That's the thing. That's the huge thing for her. She was scoring very, very efficiently. Now, she was getting some help, but it wasn't from the guards. You know, we all know how great of a player Mikaylah Williams is. As a sophomore, she was trash yesterday. Trash, trash, trash. Like, she couldn't. It was like a lid on the basketball. A lid on the rim for Mikaylah Williams. Like, she just could not get into rhythm. She couldn't hit shots, even when she had like makeable shots. Like, she just couldn't. She couldn't hit anything. Like, literally, she hit nothing the entire game. Finished the game with 0 points in this one. 0 of 9 from the field. It was just rough. Definitely, I would say the worst game I've ever seen from Mikaylah Williams. Like, by far the worst game. And I'm just like, man, like what is going on? Was the trip over? Was the trip over like a rough trip or something? Like what was going on with the flight, or like what was going on? What is going on? They were in the Bahamas, so was y'all like hanging out a little bit too much? Like, man, she was Mikaylah Williams was terrible. Absolutely terrible. And like, that is not normal for her. At least I've never seen that. She's had some bad games, but I would say never this bad. So she'll be fine. But definitely not a good look.
Mikaylah Williams, 0 for 12 in 23 minutes. Is that never seen anything like that from her? What might she be like in a post game after that?
Well, I just spoke to my team, and I mentioned that, as I did other things that happened. Turnovers, they scored 13 points in the first half off of turnovers and transition. Talked to them about good and bad. This game has the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. But guess what? You forget about it and you move to the next game. And our next game is against a Final Four opponent. And you just have to flush it and you have to let it go. You can't walk around pouting. You can't walk around feeling sorry for yourself. You celebrate with your team, and she does. So she's a competitor. She'll figure it out. And I'm glad Mikaylah Williams is at LSU playing for me.
Also, the other guard on the floor, the point guard who started the game, but ended up getting relegated to the bench, was the transfer Cheyenne Wilson. Now, Cheyenne, I actually thought she played good. Like, I thought she played good. I really did. Yes. She was 0 of 4 from the field. Ultimately didn't have any points in this game, but 3 of those were 3-pointers, which she can hit, but like, not totally her main game. She really is trying to be more of a pass first type of point guard. And that's cool and everything. I thought she made smart plays. I thought she was just smart overall. Didn't do anything stupid in the entire game in terms of just controlling the floor and leading the charge. Now, she finished the game with 7 assists, was getting her teammates involved and whatnot. Didn't have any turnovers in this game, but she did get benched. The reason why is because Kim Mulkey was saying that she was playing a little conservative. And she absolutely was. But it's one of those things where you just got to like figure out, okay, Cheyenne, I know you want to pass the ball. I know you want to do that type of thing, but you have to look to score as well because, your team needs you. They need you. They don't need you just to facilitate. They need you to look for your shot. When you have a opportunity to score, don't pass it up and get it to somebody. Yeah, sure, pass it up if that's the better decision. But sometimes the better decision is for you to just pull up and do that mid-range jumper, right? Sometimes that is the best decision. And Cheyenne Wilson, she passes that up and and opts to pass it to her teammates. And yeah, she didn't do anything wrong in this game, but they do need her to score. So really, the only guard that was really doing anything was Flossie Johnson.
I've got 1, 2, 3, possibly 4 that could play the point. And I want you to do what you do well. Cheyenne's getting the first run at it. Cheyenne had 7 assists to no turnovers, but she's playing too conservative. I know you want to distribute the ball. That's part of your job as a quarterback out there, but you're passing up jumpers at the foul line. You're not penetrating. You're not making stuff happen. You're playing very conservative. Just go ball. And I guess you'd say I'm still learning a little bit about her every day. She has the mentality that I'm the last scorer out there, but at the end of the day, you can't have that mentality. You got to have a mentality that I'll score if you need me to, coach.
And then you had Ana Morrow, who a not so good game, I would say, not so good game for Ana Morrow. Now, did Anissa score points? Yes, she did. She had a double-double in this game, 19 points, 13 rebounds, but a lot of those points were from the free throw line because, yeah, she was getting fouled. She ended up making 8 free throws. And the way that Michigan was playing defense, there was a huge focus on Ana Morrow. And, it contributed to her, getting swarmed a little bit and missing shots that she should be making. And turning over the basketball. Now, that's something that as time goes on this season, LSU has to work through because you need Ana Morrow to not just score points, but score points efficiently. And that's something that she really struggled with. Yes, she does get the double-double. Yes, she did a good job crashing the offensive boards and whatnot. However, you need to get a little bit more efficient. So that means like working more on your moves and really trying to work out, okay, well, if you are swarmed, what do you do? Do you try to force the shot? Do you turn out and try to look for one of your guards to pass it to? Like that's the type of thing that LSU really needs to work out as the season goes on. I thought that that Savia Smith is continuing to really get back into the swing of things. I thought she had a pretty good game. Like I thought she had a pretty good game. I have nothing critical to say other than, again, finishing a little bit. Got to work on that a little bit more. But I thought she did her job. Ultimately finished the game with a double-double as well. 16 points, 15 rebounds, including 11 offensive rebounds, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Now, that's kind of that. But I do want to focus on the person who saved the game. Now, in this game, Washington was basically leading throughout the entire game. Like it was Washington from the start. They ended up in the first quarter outscoring LSU. LSU only scores 11 points in the first quarter. Washington has 24. That continues on throughout the game where the first half, it was just Washington all day long, bucket after bucket after bucket, stop after stop after stop. And it was their defense that was just cooking. Now you go into the second half, and I don't know what Kim Mulkey said at the halftime, but it kind of lit a fire into LSU, and they were able to get back into it. Players started actually making some shots that they were missing in the first half. We saw Samaya, making some shots. We saw Ana Morrow get to the free throw line and whatnot. Kaylin Gilbert was doing her thing as well. Everybody just started flowing a lot more in the second half. So whatever Kim Mulkey said, it worked. And then we get to the fourth quarter. Now, the fourth quarter was a back and forth battle. Now, the fourth quarter was interesting. We see Washington have a 5-point lead with about 4 minutes to go, and Savia Sess, the best player for Washington, gets fouled out. And that, I thought, was the real mark of the further change for LSU. We only see From the time that Savia fouls out, they only score 5 more points in the entire game for Washington. Like their offense kind of just went to a halt when that happened, and LSU took advantage of it. And we finally get to the point where it was sort of LSU kind of taking the reins, and then we get to LSU with the basketball. There is 20 seconds left in the game, around 20 seconds left in the game. LSU has the basketball. Last here, Poa has it. She tries to pass it to Flau'jae Johnson. It was a terrible pass. And then Flau'jae has to go into the backcourt to save the basketball. Now, I saw people saying, like, isn't this backcourt violation? And I think it could have been called a backcourt violation. Now, I'm playing the video here so you can see it for yourself. But from now, a referee, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody who, knows all the things, correct me if I'm wrong, but Flau'jae, it looked like yes, the ball was not tipped by Washington, but it looks like Flau'jae Johnson saved the ball before her feet touched the other side of the court. Like, from what I understand, it's only backcourt violation if the ball goes, if your feet go over the line with the basketball in your hand. Like, she was still in the air. It seemed like she was still in the air when she saved the basketball. Ended up tipping it to Kaylin Gilbert. Ended up putting her head down, get into the bucket, and making the layup to secure the 1-point lead. Now, guys, again, I'm playing the video. Let me know what y'all think about that. Did y'all think that was backcourt violation? I didn't think so, because her feet it didn't look like her feet touched the ground until after she had saved the basketball. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. That was a crazy, crazy, crazy end to the game, because as I was watching, I was like, oh, LSU about to get got. LSU about to get got. LSU about to get got. And then Kaylin Gilbert comes to the rescue, and I was like, oh my goodness. That was man, that's a score right there. Kaylin Gilbert was like, you know what? I'm not playing with no mid-range. Nope. I'm going to take this ball. I'm going to get into the lane. I'm going to make some stuff happen. There was a little bit over a second left for Michigan to try to do something, but they end up turning over the basketball. Really, Savia Sess fouling out, like, doomed it for Washington and enabled LSU to ultimately get the victory. A win's a win. It was an ugly win. It wasn't a good win. Definitely LSU has a lot of stuff to work on, especially with their guards. Their guards have to show up. And they didn't really in this game, besides Flau'jae Johnson and Kaylin Gilbert. Besides them two, guards. Y'all gotta work on some stuff.
What was the last possession before Kaylin's layup? What was that supposed to look like?
What you talking about? The one where Poa threw a bad pass to Flau'jae on the left side, and Flau'jae had to go run for it to try to throw it back in. We just talked about that in the locker room. That was not clean. It was not a clean possession where we could really get something and be settled. I think KG, loose ball on the floor, gets it with 6.1 seconds and did what ballers do. You just duck your head and you go in there and make something happen. Had we done that in the first quarter and in the first half, we might not have been in that hole, because what we do, you sit and you settle and think you're going to make a shot eventually, when at the end of the day, you got to get up in the paint and make stuff happen. And KG is our best dribble penetrator, and she knew the clock was winding down and just went in there. That was not clean at all. As I told them, when you see zones, it's not a magic play. Coach is going to call a timeout and say, if you do this, we're going to score. I've got about 6 quick hitters. I've got a couple of zone, main offenses. Okay. None of them really worked today. So at the end of the day, ballers honestly have to go make plays. whether that's in transition in the open floor, whether that's on the defensive end, whatever it is. And we did it out of desperation there in the last part of the game.
Now, there is going to be a really, really, really good game that's going to happen on Wednesday. Now, LSU is going to be playing NC State. Now, guys, this is going to be the game to watch. This is happening on Wednesday. The game is going to be on Flow Hoops. Now, I don't have Flow Hoops. I ended up watching this game on, somebody posted the game on YouTube, so I was able to watch that, the Washington LSU game on YouTube after the fact. So y'all can watch it on Flow Hoops live. You got to pay for the subscription or just wait a couple hours after the game until somebody posts it on YouTube. Yeah, we have reached a point in the season where there is about 8-day stretch where Flow Hoops is an important site to have because they have access to a lot of these rando games around Thanksgiving every single year. It's a whole bunch of rando games where teams go to exotic places and play in gyms where play in very, very small gyms that are not filled. Why? I don't know, but they do this every year where these teams just go and play places on islands and whatnot and just in various places. And it's just like, okay, great. None of these games are on actual TV. So you got to get Flow Hoops to be able to watch those games, a lot of the games. And it's just this small stretch that it's like very important. They have games throughout the year, throughout the season, but it's primarily games that it's not top 25 games for the most part. But during this small stretch around Thanksgiving every year, Flow Hoops is very important. So if y'all want, y'all should totally subscribe. I'm subscribed to too much stuff, so I'm not subscribing to one other thing. I just can't do it. Last year I did subscribe to Flow Hoops. And I think I forgot to cancel or something, and it charged me for a couple more months or whatever. Not doing that again. Anyway, that's the video. What do y'all think? Did y'all watch the game? What do y'all think about LSU? And also, Savia Sess. What y'all think? Girl, that girl was phenomenal. Phenomenal. And then she's only a sophomore, guys. She's only a sophomore. So she's now on my radar for sure. To be honest with you, honestly, I can't really remember the last game I've watched of Washington. But now I'm paying attention. To Washington now because they got a really, really good guard that I think has huge potential. Anyway, that's the video. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see y'all in the next one. Till next time, guys. Bye.
Just how good was that for your team to have to struggle and find a way this early in the season to kind of test your mettle?
Well, I don't know about good. I'm one of these coaches that I like to win, and we did win. So that was the good part. Lots of teaching. I'm still observing, guys. I'm sitting over there on the sideline, cool as a cucumber, because I'm trying to figure out now that I've got them all out there, who can I play? Miracle's finally been cleared, but she's out of sync. So I'm still learning about my team because it's a case of I've got numbers. I got people I can put in there, and it was a good game for me to watch and observe and learn a little bit about some of them.